So let's talk about in this mom chat, how do I plan 2 full days of doing nothing and then checking into the Walt Disney World Fort Wilderness camping? So for me, I'm all about rest and resetting. I'm all about giving my family a beautiful and peaceful experience. I'm also about slow mornings, enjoying my time as a mom, no distractions, no disruptions. And that's what we're going to talk about in terms of finding your peace in a beautiful space and being able to take time out to absolutely do nothing, even at the happiest place on earth. All right. So if you are new here, my name is TK, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, especially if you are a mom where you need to incorporate more slow mornings, more slow days, and even on vacation, just absolutely doing nothing. Okay, so to give you some context, I am actually at Fort Wilderness in the cabins. This is our very first time staying here. We came up on a great summer deal. We're out here in the month of July, and we've been out here in the summer months. We understand the humidity, we understand the heat. We are originally from Southern California, and the heat doesn't bother us, but one thing that we are really big on is creating new experiences for our family. And so I have a bucket list. I'm actually gonna see if I can link it down below, but I went and created a graphic where it has all of the Disney resorts. And I have some bucket list items that I knew I wanted to do on this trip. Now, one bucket list item that I put on here every single time is actually taking a break, taking a rest. And I like to also, as a mom, turn off my alarm clock on most days. And on other days, just like right now, I did turn on my alarm because we did a split stay. So we are in a newer resort on the last part of our trip. And me and my husband wanted to make sure that we took the kids around, we got the golf cart, and that we did the activities and just saw the grounds because this area is huge, like huge. So with that in mind, we did a split stay. So we stayed at our regular family timeshare through the Marriott Sheraton from Tuesday, technically Wednesday midnight, until Sunday morning. During that time, we did 2 full park days because we met up with another family, one of my best friends and her family. Then I intentionally did nothing the next day, which was Friday, the next day, which was Saturday. And then we checked out and did technically another rest chill day until we didn't on Sunday. So I'll tell you all about that. Okay, so I'm back. I needed to get fully dressed because I had to go quickly look up on my phone what time does Walt Disney World, the Fort Wilderness cabin, stop serving breakfast. We are eating at Trails End. That is actually where we ate at last night. It was really good. We had a family style chicken 8-piece meal. But this morning I took everybody's breakfast order, and I'm not cooking while I'm over here. I'll go over that in a second. That's why I even saying that, because we do have a full kitchen. But I'm gonna go on the golf cart this morning and run over there. So I do have the questions here that come in from the community as to why I'm going to be doing this mom chat. I am going to be multitasking, doing makeup. You will see clearly mom life back here because it was a storm here yesterday. All of our Blizzard Beach pool clothes are behind me, so just focus on me. All right, so I'm not going to number them, not in any particular order, but one of the questions that came in is, what did your first few days actually look like? So, and I'm going to reference this, I took notes, sorry. So like I said, I flew in on Tuesday night, and we chose the 4 o'clock flight primarily because if you're not familiar with our family context, I don't say it a lot, but we do have a blended family. Sorry, this thing keeps, okay. We do have a blended family. And so this means that we have one of the kids most of the week. I mean, pretty much, yeah, most of the week. And then we have my youngest pretty much all the time. And so my eldest is in high school. My youngest is in clearly elementary, 15 and 8. They have completely different school schedules. When I say completely, completely. And so let me know if you're a bonus mom out there. I find that it's a lot of us, but we stay in our cocoons. And sometimes it would be nice to talk to other people who have similar, even just schedule setups, and things just become interesting. So, oh, let me walk you through what I'm using. So for my face, I did use the La Roche-Posay. I just put my big one inside of like a travel container. And then for my face moisturizer, I use the Survey AM. Whatever I can find in my Amazon store, I'll put together like a morning routine. So if you are interested in any of these items below, but I use that for moisturization because the heat out here and the humidity is real. Then for my foundation stick, I'm not doing too much because odds are we are going to end up at the pool today. This is the Fenty Ease Drop number 20, and it's a stick, and I like it because it's stick foundation, so it goes on quite easily. Honestly, since I started using this, I stopped using the liquid. So, like I said, let me know if you're a bonus mom down below. But I've been on my bonus baby since he was 4 going on 5. And so me and his dad got married when he was 5. So I met him when he was 4. And I'm getting this timeline so wrong. Whatever. So we got married when he was 5. And we pretty much have him a little under half of the month, splitting with his mom. And so he goes to school by his mom. Their schedules are completely different, where the youngest son goes to school year round because of our school district, and our eldest goes to a traditional school. So what we try to do is match our youngest son's schedule as best as possible to the eldest, which means that July right now is the only month that they have all fully together. However, this summer is a little different because they are both playing football. This is the Tower 28 concealer, and it is RP. So I want to try, I was using the Fenty concealer, but I want to try a different one. So because of the sports schedule and the seriousness of tackle football, if you know, you know, we cannot miss a practice. We cannot miss conditioning. We cannot. And I'm okay with that because I actually don't want to be that parent that pulls my kid out unless it's clearly an emergency. And so with that in mind, we really only had a good 2.5 weeks to do something with them, and this trip was not planned. Typically, I'm a person where I come in the year knowing where I'm going to go out on vacation, especially for my business. And this year, we didn't plan anything because we were trying to take it slow. And then me and my best friend had this good idea. It's my psychologist friend. I'm a psychologist. We decided at the last minute, because of my speaking on Voxer, that's how we stay in contact, we decided to go to Walt Disney World in less than 90 days. So let me do my eyebrows real quick. Okay, so when I say real quick, I mean real quick with the planning of the trip, because while I love going to Walt Disney World, by all means, throughout the whole year, whether it's coming out here for business conferences and or for family, I, by default, become the planner if I'm not going with other people who go to Disney, do Disney, or like Disney, but going for the kids. So by default, some of the things I was volunteered for, some of the things I volunteered myself, because I like handling, if at all costs, unless somebody else knows how to do it, lighting the lanes, because I am not standing in these long lines, especially in the heat, but I ain't standing in no long lines. I'm a light and lane family. So pretty much I help plan the trip, organize the trip, pack the trip. Then when I came to the trip, cook food, we had a full kitchen, and that's pretty much how this trip came about. And so with our 2 boys, the reason why we ended up leaving at 4 o'clock was because my eldest was with his mom on 4th of July, because if you know anything about arrangements, is they flip-flop major holidays every single year. So this year was not our 4th because we have been at Walt Disney World before in the summer a couple of years back, where we literally came on Prime Real Estate Day, which is the day after 4th of July. And when I tell you it was dry, just like kind of how it was this time, it was dry, okay? And so if you are looking or you need to go in the summer months, it is hot. But I will say for crowd level wise, if you can deal with the humidity, it's gravy. So I do use the Fenty powder. This one is cinnamon, so it blends in well with my skin. So yeah, so I planned out the trip. We knew that the first 2 days would be heavy. We had to, not by choice, had to leave later because of arrangements, if you know, you know, with blended families, because sometimes there is a lack of negotiation. And, you know, if you have blended mom questions, please let me know. I'll just state this, and then if you want me to do a video on it, I can. But the adjustment to becoming a bonus mom, especially when you don't have your own biological children first, is a transition. When you have a kid with potential blended family stuff that has nothing to do with the kids, it is a challenge sometimes, and sometimes it's not. We've had happy seasons, and then we've had chaotic seasons. So with that in mind, we chose to leave at 4 o'clock just to avoid chaos. I don't prefer it because if you know anything about leaving California, you lose a day when you come to Florida. And so that's why I prefer to always come at 6 in the morning, even though it's uncomfortable for the family because we barely get sleep the night before, primarily because at least we'll still get here at 3, like 2:33. And then by the time we get our bags and get to the hotel room, it'll be 5 and we can still like go out to eat or go to the pool or do something where we don't feel like we're wasting a full day. So it is what it is. With eye blush, I use the Fenty Beauty. I use the pink palette. This one definitely needs I need a new one. But yeah, so why I intentionally chose a rest day in the beginning, if you are not familiar with being out here, plus the heat, plus getting older, plus walking around the parks in different locations based off how your rides are set up, you can do anywhere from 20,000 miles up to 30. 20,000 steps up to 30. We definitely did 25 by the end of the night. I think by the time we left the park, and that wasn't counting like walking to where we need to get into a car and all those things, we were definitely at 23,800 or something crazy. And the park did get shut down during Magic Kingdom Day because of the thunderstorm warning. I don't know about the fireworks because we ended up leaving and just refunding our Seven Doors Mine Train Lightning Lane, single Lightning Lane that we pay for. But we knew that the first 2 days would be longer days for the parks. So I intentionally chose, because I knew my friend was leaving town on Friday because we overlapped with our trips, that we would leave on, because she's leaving on Friday, we would do an intentional rest day. So I did a chit chat on the porch of the marketplace. And so I'll insert that below because that video got published before this one. But ultimately that was walking y'all up to rest and reset and stuff like that. And so on Friday, all we did was go to the pool, let the kids walk around the arcade to see what they wanted to play so I could buy them a card. I did it the next day. And then we got food actually at the resort. That was it. And the day didn't go by slow because they slept half of the day. We let them sleep in clearly because it was 2 long days at Epcot and Magic Kingdom. And my elders didn't get up. We had to force them to get up. Like, everybody didn't get up and get dressed until about 2 o'clock. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy setting spray. Got this on Amazon. So yeah, so that was our Friday. And then on Saturday, I did wake them up a little bit earlier. I cooked breakfast on both days. That's all I cooked. I didn't cook lunch or dinner. And then we got dressed. We made a reservation for Cake Bake because if you don't know the new rules, you can't get on these properties unless you have a reservation, but that was okay because I wanted to go to Cake Bake anyway instead of my younger son. So we went and grabbed a late lunch and then we walked around the boardwalk. Hot, okay. Walked around the boardwalk, went into the stores. And then we got on the Skyliner because that was my bucket list item as well. Got on the Skyliner and went over to the Riviera. And then from the Riviera, we got in a lift and then it took us back to our resort. And then the kids went to the arcade because at that point it was dark. And then we just got food again at the like bar pool area. So that was our Friday and Saturday. And that was super peaceful, I might say. So for me, I like incorporating slow days primarily because it gives me a day to rest and reset, if not more. And when you come with kids and this is probably their only big vacation during this season for us, this is very abnormal. Like they're used to going 2 to 3 places, but I'm like, not this year. Both of y'all are playing football and the schedules are rigorous. So we only have 14 days and Walt Disney World was the only place that for me made sense that I could actually schedule in a very short period of time because we know how to come here. We know how to do Disney. Okay, so another question came in, why or like how do we choose the resorts? And so sometimes the resorts are chosen solely based off the fact that it's on my bucket list and the price is right, the season is right. And for us, it made more sense to come during the summer months because like I said, we did that 4 o'clock flight. And to give you some context, the way that flight was booked was almost at midnight because of the new schedule arrangements that we didn't know was going to happen. But you know, I adjust well, so I don't really care. Like when I say I really don't care, it's like if there's chaos related to scheduling stuff for kids, especially when it comes down to travel, I'll always figure out a way. Please know that. So it's never been an issue for me. If there's chaos, I'll just avoid the chaos and just do what we can within our scope. But we try to make the vacations as long as possible, and that makes sense as much as possible for the kids. So that's why we prefer to, again, come in the morning. So because that couldn't happen, we flew at 4, and because I was up late that night booking the tickets, something in my gut told me, because originally we were at the beach and yacht club. We were at the yacht club. We wanted to do that was another bucket list. We wanted to do the lazy river thing that they have. And so, this is edge fixer max hold for my edges because I got crochet braids. So I was up and something told me, check the room. Now those rooms were already 30% off because they do summer deals because they probably know ain't nobody coming in this hot summer. So when I checked, the cabins were available. My husband been saying since the cabin's open, I want to go to the cabins. My youngest son been saying for the last year, I want to go to the cabins. Then when I would show videos to kind of see where their mind was, they were like, I want to go to the cabins. So I'm like, I wonder if the cabin's available. And they were. And when I went and booked it, we're here for 2 nights, 3 days. It was not only just available, but it was on sale. And it was $150 a night less than the beach club. So I was like, sold. So I went ahead and upgraded the room, and then I made it a whole surprise thing for the family. So that's why I chose it. But also I wanted to experience what it would be like to not be right up on the crowds. I knew that it would be quiet. I've watched enough videos over the last 2 years where we see all of the Halloween and Christmas decor. And that's something else that I considered. It's like, if we come to another Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party, or if we try the Halloween one, we may not get one of these cabins because they booked them a year in advance because they decorate them. And we want to see it, but we have to book it a year in advance. So, and this is also Disney Vacation Club. So if this is not like our home resort, if you remember, if it's not your home resort where you get first dibs, and if you didn't RSVP it or do the reservations early enough, you won't get it. And I'm like, you know what? It's a sale. Let's go ahead and get the room. So that's how we came about it. But I also knew that I wanted to explore something new. That is our goal every time we travel somewhere, even outside of Walt Disney World, is do at least one thing new everywhere you go, every time you go, even if it's a restaurant, even if it's you go to the same restaurant and you try a different food. Because our goal is to travel the world and experience different things and show our kids even more than like my family showed me. I'm a travel kid, but there were certain limitations that my family did show me, but I still was, I'm going to say exposed really good. Okay, so I was saving this question until the end, which is, find my jury. Why did I separate my channel from business with lifestyle? So I want to give you some history of my channel if you have no clue what I'm talking about. I am a clinical psychologist, wife and mom, a whole lot of stuff in between. Y'all already know how it goes. And I originally started my YouTube channel. I actually had like multiple YouTube channels back in the day. I was exploring YouTube, not even realizing that on one of my channels I was monetized because it was a lot easier to get monetized in the beginning. And this was back in 2013, 2012. But at first I had a channel just for me working out. And I would just record it. And then some people who wanted ab home workouts and knew what I was doing, I would send it. And when I would go on cruises, I would videotape fun, not vlog, just fun, like random clips. And then I started the Dr. TK page when I established my brand. Now, initially, I honestly didn't know what I was going to do with the channel. I just knew that I wanted a place for video that was longer than Instagram and Facebook Lives, and a place where I can upload my Facebook Lives to live evergreen. So I originally had a mix of mental health stuff and business stuff. And I was just sharing as people asked me questions. I would just start posting videos over there. And then 2020 happened. And I had this bright idea to record 85 podcasts, which made it up to 100 podcasts in a year from March until December. I wanted to reach and teach 100 therapists a year, which is still my business brand. I'll link that channel below. And my goal was also to get monetized. So monetization wasn't that big of a deal, but I knew that I wanted it just as more of a milestone thing. And to push out more content to more therapists. So because I started uploading my podcast, going live stream, doing my virtual business boot camps over there for therapists in business and in private practice, that channel grew exponentially in terms of therapists becoming aware that other therapists on there doing business stuff. I'm putting on these little matching bracelets that I got on Amazon, just like a trio. So because it took over, my brain works in a very interesting way where I call it fixation. And when it gets fixated on something and then it's like that for a long period of time, not that I can adjust, I personally can adjust with change, but it is a transition. And what I've started to notice in this season of my life is that if something does not feel aligned, I should not force it. even if it feels like the best strategy in the moment, because the best strategy is going to take me out emotionally and it's going to make me not want to do anything. So I've tried on the Dr. TK channel back in 2021. I was just posting snippets of my life. And by all means, it originally became like certain playlists, which is be what I call my family vaults. My goal with those videos, like from going to Walt Disney World when it opened up after the pandemic, and just travel with my family, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It was really to build a vault for my family, and I had started talking about having an abundant business and having an abundant life. That worked, but then what tends to happen with the algorithm is I know that my channel can hold both spaces. I know that you can have playlists. I know that people can go to the area that they want to go. However, it is a difference. It's like two arrows. It is a difference of therapist people being interested in the personal side of me, and that's fine. That's my business. But then I also like just to show up as a mom and not have to make it business oriented to please the need of my playlists and the algorithm. And so that's what I've been struggling with for the last 2 years. Not 1 month, 2 years. Because if you've been around, you will notice that I'll publish a video on here. I'll publish the same video on Dr. TK, and then somehow it'll end up on one of them. But every time, I kid you not, I post a video like this, the therapist will find it because now they have the collaboration tool. So I feel like after these 2 years of torment, I realized that I just have to ask myself a set of questions. Is this help me grow my business? And this can help me grow my business to an extent, but I feel like the way this system online is set up, not the people, is that in order for you to even see it, it has to be something that you're looking for. Therapists are not going online looking for my content about traveling to Disney World. They're looking for content about how to generate more money with different streams of income. Then have a peaceful life. Okay, that is the result. And so what I decided to do is really separate it from streams of income and business for therapists to showing you how to build the business. And then over here, we're going to talk about what does the result of building an abundant business feel like and look like. And I can be me. I can, for half of the year, do Christmas stuff. For another part of the year, I can do travel. Or throughout the year, I can do travel. If it's conference business travel, clearly it'll go on Dr. TK. If I'm doing Amazon travel unboxing, it'll go TK Marie. If I'm doing a random day, random Wednesday with my son at Disneyland, it depends. Because it can go on this channel, TK Marie, or it can simply be collaborated with Dr. TK, because I'm also talking about the blessing of having a business that will afford me the ability to go to Disneyland in the middle of the week. So I didn't apologize, one, for my voice. My voice isn't usually like this. It is raspy because I lost it on all the rides at Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So with that in mind, let me go to the rest of them. So yeah, so somebody said, like, was it scary splitting the channels? The answer is yes and no. No, because every time I put the video where it's supposed to be, I feel aligned. Is it scary? Yes, because I'm starting over. And my videos already on Dr. TK, I'm a super niche channel still, so it's not like my videos are getting thousands of views. It's only if I talk about something very trendy. But most of my videos get under 300 views, but it turns into business revenue on the back end because I'm talking to a specific audience, so I'm cool. On TK Marie, it feels different from the business owner brain to now come over here, and I have to remove the analytical brain to a degree and upload right now just for the hell of it and because I want to connect with other women and moms that have similarities with me. So yes, it is scary. Starting over, I think for anybody is always scary. But being aligned for me creates consistency. I just have to do it over and over again. So what can we expect? I made a list. What can we expect from TK Marie? So of course I love Disney, whether that's Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Alani. You can see Disney stuff, Disney Christmas trees. Of course, travel, home, holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas are big ones. Birthday parties are a big one for us. Mom chats like this, morning check-ins, and just like real life and building an abundant business that results in an abundant life. So this is what I would consider like show and tell versus Dr. TK is more like the how-to. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be doing how-to here. I'm not doing makeup tutorials, but I'm doing maybe how to navigate having 2 kids that are 7 years apart, how to navigate planning a trip with your family. There will be how-tos, but I really enjoy answering questions. And so my Instagram is, it's TK Marie. I will link it below. It'll probably appear on the screen. And I hope that you will come back for some more mom chats. Watch our full Walt Disney World summer series. We have a split stay between our first time share at a Marriott resort, Sheraton resort, and then the second half right here at Fort Wilderness. We'll be taking you along just to see what the grounds are like. And so I'm really excited to, again, go home and check this off my bucket list, but I don't want to rush going home. We have today as a full day, and then tomorrow we don't actually leave until 7 p.m. So I'm still trying to decide what we're going to do on the second day. We may do half here, half Disney Springs, grab food, come back, grab our bags, and then go to the airport. But I really hope that you enjoyed this casual day of my life vlog, mom chat per se. And I hope to have you back. And let me know, what questions do you have about Fort Wilderness so I can maybe do a recap. What questions do you have about being a mom, maybe running a business, and still running a whole abundant life. All right, love you. Talk to you later. Bye.